Hey everyone, welcome to the Conquering Together podcast. My name is Ian, and this is my dad.
I'm Jared.
If you're new here, our mission is to create strong and present parents in their children's lives.
And also influence the next generation. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conquering Together podcast. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Today in this episode, I'm here with my dad, Jared.
Hey.
And we're going to be kind of talking about the path to becoming a warrior. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what are we running from? We're running from poor mental health. We're running from depression, anxiety. And it's kind of important to...
And I'd like to challenge you. It's not that we're running from it.
Yeah.
We're conquering it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so... Yeah, so it's more of that idea of facing it head on and, stomping on it and doing these things that, we're not ignoring the problem. We're not hiding from the problem.
No.
You're right. So we're conquering it. I like that. And but what is depression, though, is what we have to think about. Well, depression, a lot of people think that depression is sadness. To me, depression is more emptiness. It's... It's meaninglessness.
Yeah.
And that means, you have no purpose and no mission.
Yeah.
And I think that when people, might be feeling meaningless, then they indulge in, coping devices and habits and, things, to, occupy their mind in the moment. And this might come from like instant gratification things. So that might look like scrolling on your phone. That might look like lust and just things that make you feel good in the moment. Drinking. All these different things. Whatever it might be, it's things that make you feel good in the moment, but in the long run, you feel terrible about. You look back on it and it's like, man, why did I do that? Why did I waste my time doing that?
We do it to numb the pain.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing, because we have pain, all of us. Like I said in the last episode, we're all broken. And it's the pain that we're trying to numb. We just want that instant one. So like, you get a drink or two in you, or if you want to do drugs, or if you want to, have sex, or whatever the case is, you're getting that instant release. You're not actually facing your fear. What you're doing is you're masking it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're masking it with these things. And, still, I find that, people might be in a really rough spot because they're drowning in all this stuff, making their depression worse, just enhancing the problem. And they might even say it's, they'll believe for themselves, well, I have genetic depression, I have clinical depression. And though that is a rare case, why would you believe that about yourself? That's such a self-deprecating thought.
Yeah, and we don't want to ignore the fact, though, that people do suffer from depression.
Clearly not, but when you're saying to yourself, that this is inescapable and
it's
can't
a mindset.
beat this.
It is a mindset. I mean,
why would you say that to yourself,
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't really explain it, but I mean, yes, I actually did face depression. There was a period of time, literally, I did edibles. Why? Because I just needed to take the edge off. Work stress, personal stress, just, it was killing me. And someone had mentioned that to me, and I was like, I'll try it. And I went and, I took one, and literally I didn't work the rest of the day. I just didn't want to work. But then I realized, I kind of could, figure out a good balance. But as I was doing that, I actually realized this isn't a good thing. This is not a good thing, because it put me in a mindset that I didn't want to be in.
Yep.
So I stopped it. I was done. I didn't do it anymore, and I didn't ever want to do it again because while, like I said, we talked about it in the last episode, the mind can literally destroy you. Your mind is your most powerful tool that you have. It creates your success, and it is the destroyer of your life. So I've never really enjoyed doing things that mess with my mind. Yeah, I did drink, and I drank a lot, but I didn't want to ever do. I talked about this, that I wanted to do the drugs. You guys stopped me, but at the same time, I didn't want to do the drugs because of the mindset. My mind, I knew it would have messed up my mind. Mm-hmm. And, that, I guess that was maybe in me when I was a kid because of, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. I have ADD, those kind of things. So, and I felt stupid all through high school. I felt stupid. I mean, I literally graduated. I don't even remember what it was. I was like a 2 something, and so I just wanted to be smart. I wanted to be the smartest man in the room. And first years of college didn't really show that I almost failed out of college taking one class. I took one class and I couldn't even pass it because I never went. But yeah, I mean, but I did turn it all around. I always credit your sister for that. She basically made me a better man. Her coming along, and I graduated with honors from college, so I was very proud of that. And so like I said, to me, the mind is very, very powerful, and I do my best to protect it, even though there's days I still don't. So, but yeah.
So, if you're, you said you were in depression at one point, and just like we said at the beginning, you have to not run from it; you have to conquer it. And so maybe what that would take for someone is to understand depression is, actually a good thing because it's your body telling you, like, you are meaningless, you are directionless. Like, I don't like this feeling, and it's trying to make that aware of you or aware to you. Mm-hmm. So instead, take depression.
Never thought of it that way. That's good. That's a good way of looking at it, though.
Right, and say, wow, I'm going to use this depression and appreciate that my body is making this aware to me because I'm going to use it to make a change. I'm going to try to go, you let this fuel me. A lot of the times when you are feeling depressed and you might be really upset about the place that you're in, that fuels you in workouts, that fuels you to pursue something risky that you never would have otherwise, pursued. Use that depression as more of a fuel.
Yeah.
Because, that's a highlighter that you need to make a change in your life.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's one of the things you don't realize it as you're going through it. And also a lot of people don't know. Like I said, I put a smile on my face. I laughed. Nobody really knew what was going on in me. The only person that would have really known was, again, my therapist. He was the one. And there was one point in time, he's like, do I need to get you some medication? I'm like, nope, not doing that. Because I was too afraid of getting addicted to it. Not that I would have. That's what I was afraid of. I just I don't want to do that. Just not something I want to do. But yeah, I mean, just people don't always realize what they're going through. Yeah. And people around you don't realize what you're going through. Especially if you don't realize that nobody else is going to. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty common. It's like, if I don't know that I'm depressed, how in the world am I supposed to tell someone I'm depressed? That's just kind of the thing. And it's
Yeah.
a tough thing to actually diagnose.
It is. It is, especially for yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's because we don't take a lot of time to think about where we are.
No, we like I said, we want to run from our problems instead of conquering our problems. We want to run from our fears, our insecurities, instead of facing them head on and saying, "You got nothing on me. Try it."
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it now. Do I have my days where everything around me affects me? Of course I do. I mean, crap. I have been awake since 2 a.m. today, working on and off at my job, my real job, dealing with so many different things. It's stressful. Like coming here, before I do this thing, I usually try to get myself into a mindset, listen to certain songs, musics, kind of really think about what I want to, preparing myself. Had no time to do that. Man, I barely made it here after, I was talking about this beforehand. It's like, I didn't know if I was going to have time to take a shower and get here on time. It's just like everything was so rushed for me today that I didn't know if I was going to be able to do this, because it's not easy doing this. Not at all. Nope. I mean, you might see me here. I'm calm, but you don't see me before and after the podcast. It's not fun for me at all. To admit to all of this and take responsibility for my actions. Definitely don't want to be doing this, but I'm doing it. I'm here, and yeah, I gotta build that mindset. I gotta have. You even mentioned in the last episode, you have to have your daily things that you do in order to keep your mind focused. I have to do the same thing. Like, I have this journal. I don't get to do it every day, just when I have time. But I try to be consistent, at least 2 or 3 times a week. I will journal in there, and it's great for me because of my ADD. It's like, you give me a blank piece of paper, I'm going to stare at it for an hour and be like, I don't know what to do. But it's a question answer. It's like, tells me exactly what I need to do. And I can, if I'm peace and my mind is right, I can do it in 5 minutes, and it's wonderful. Because then I can move on to my next task, which would be either doing a rucksack walk, which we talked about in the last episode, going to work out, boxing. I love to box. And when I box, after a good boxing session, I love everybody. Like, I am so at peace. Like, literally, I could have my worst enemy come up to me and tell me he hates me, and I'd be like, I love you, brother. That's just how I am. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I need those things, because if I don't do it, it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds until I'm ready to blow.
Yep. And so those, just like with the journaling you said, that's a time of self-reflection.
Yeah.
It's probably asking you questions to reflect on your day, reflect on the problems that you might have. And
yeah, it does.
It's asking these questions. And life is so, in the modern day, it's so fast-paced.
It is. Oh my gosh.
We don't have time to reflect.
The fact that I've only had 3 hours of sleep and yet I still can't make it to this podcast on time, makes no sense to me.
Yeah. So we don't, perfect example. We sometimes don't have time to think about where we are in life. And that's why, as you were saying, depression can go unnoticed. Where you are mentally can go unnoticed so easily. I think the first step is to implement time to just, either think or journal
Yeah.
or meditate on where you are, and pray about it. And like, what am I feeling right now? Why do I go day to day kind of lazy and unmotivated and feeling directionless?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that the case? Oh, it's probably because like I probably have some sort of depression, or there might be a root cause of it. Like I'm avoiding
Anxiety, depression, it
yeah
could be any of those things. I mean, we're not therapists, guys. We're not going to sit here and tell you this is how the formula of it, this is what depression is, but we're just saying that depression is a good, some of it can be mindset. It's mindset related, definitely.
Yeah.
We don't want to ignore the fact that there are people who definitely are clinically depressed. But yeah, it's just it's a mindset. We all need it. Otherwise, we're going to just fail.
Yeah. And so, all right. So you highlighted, some of your things to get out of these bad headspaces. You got your journaling. You have this rucksack walk. It might be boxing every now and then.
Yeah.
And
and I forgot my tire, my tractor tire, my sledgehammer and tractor tire. I do
Right.
that too.
okay,
Yeah.
so hitting the tractor tire with the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun, actually. I love
Mhm.
it. So yeah, those are my, and then working out.
Yeah. And so why exactly do maybe these physical things that you do every day, why does that help you out mentally? Where's the relationship?
Ooh, yeah. Great question. The more physical exertion. I can't say that right. Whatever it is, the more physical it is, the greater pain that it causes me, the more the stress comes off. Like I said, it's a weird thing for me. Like, it's like it's going to sound weird, but it's like an energy transference where I remember, gosh, it was so wonderful when I was doing the rucksack walk at like last of April, 1st of May, that very beginning, had that 50 pounds on me. And as I was walking, like everything that was coming off of me, the weight of all that rage, that anxiety, those insecurities just coming off of me, that rucksack, which literally was 50 pounds, well, to be technical, 49. But, so we rounded up, but it felt like 5 pounds afterwards. Like, I'm sitting here walking and I'm like, why is this getting lighter? Like, are the weights dropping out or something? No, it's like it was nothing. It was so strange.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It was a really cool experience though. But yeah, that was kind of what I did, and it was still, and I don't get that same feeling, but like where it cause trust me, it hurts. There are days it hurts. But yeah, I mean, it still brings me that peace, still brings me that mental clarity to where I can think and be like, oh, well, dang. And what a task that would have taken me 2-3 hours to do, I can do in 5 minutes. It's so strange. And it's like nothing I've ever seen before in me. I've never experienced anything like this that I've experienced in the last, few months. This is all still very, very new to me. And then
That's interesting. You say that after the rucksack, then you're able to do maybe work, for example, that would take you a few hours. You're able to knock it out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, what was it? We just did that Tuesday. I did I boxed for 40 minutes, and Literally right after that, I was sending you a flurry of text. We're gonna do this,
Yeah.
and it just all came out, and it just flowed in my brain. I don't understand it. I can't explain it. It just does.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot to do with, you mentioned a lot, calming the noise. In your brain, you might have like
I call it killing the noise.
Killing the noise. And
Papa Roach.
there's just a lot of, turmoil of thoughts like, oh, I'm, kind of worried about where I am right now, or I'm worried about what I have to do. And, I'm upset with myself here and here. And there's like just this craziness going on in your mind. It's like a snow globe that you just shaking up really hard.
Yeah.
And now what is that, activity that calms the snow globe, that, settles the snow globe? And, what cures the noise? And for you, that's something super painful, super physical.
Yeah.
And I think that actually relates, with a lot of people.
Yeah.
If you're kind of feeling in like a lower spot, maybe try to do something physical.
An outlet. A healthy outlet.
Yes. Something to face the issue, as we were saying,
correct.
not run from it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why we say healthy outlet. It's not like, we're not sitting here and saying, we're not advocating like drinking and doing drugs, because that just numbs it. That just, you don't face it, because what you're doing is you're dumbing your mind. Let's just be honest with you.
Yeah.
You're dumbing your mind. Trust me, I've been dumb enough many nights. I know you're dumbing your mind. Just that's what you're doing. And it takes a healthy outlet so that you can refocus your mind to create that path of the warrior.
Right.
Because you can't see it if you are dumbing it down.
Interesting. Okay. So what is the most important physical things that we can do to put us, like, is diet an important thing? Is
I really think it's all, I mean,
it's all subjective.
It is subjective. I mean, I know the personal trainer's going to come out and you're be like, no, you got to eat right. You got to do these things. I get it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I still eat my cheeseburger. I'm going to eat my 3 corn dogs every day if I want to. Okay. I love a good corn dog. But no, I think it is subjective. I think every person's different. Like I said, pain to me, like experiencing a bit of pain, not like pain as in like someone punch me. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. Or someone choke me or someone pinch me. That's not the pain I'm talking about. The pain is like a physical exertion, meaning it is a challenge. And facing that challenge and overcoming that challenge helps clear my mind so that I can face and conquer my problems.
Yeah, so as you're on this rucksack, then you might reach a point, maybe it's 10 minutes in, and you hit a wall, and you're like, dude, I don't know if I can keep on going.
Yeah.
And it feels like this immovable wall.
Yeah.
But instead, you understand, like, that's just a mental wall that's up right now. I can actually physically, I'm not doing as bad as, like, I'm not dying in this second. Like, I'm not actually about to fall over and die. So this is just a mental wall that's put up. Boom, you keep on walking, you break through that wall, and you continue to, that's pain that you felt, and you broke through that pain.
Yeah.
And then you might keep on going, you face another wall.
Yeah.
Boom, keep on going, keep the momentum going. Boom, breaking past wall after wall.
What is it? And I remember, because you just reminded me of something when I used to work out heavily. They would call it, and you probably know this, it's like your lactic acid doses or something like that.
Right.
After a certain period of time, that like kicks in, and you just like feel like you're about to faint. But if you keep going, we call it the second wind, but it's really something else. You more than likely know all these things and whatnot, but that's what they, once you break through that, then it's just like boom, it becomes easy.
Yeah.
And that kind of just what you were just saying is just reiterating what you're saying is that's what we're doing mentally also.
Exactly.
We're gonna get to that wall, and are we gonna run from that wall? We're gonna go back, or are we gonna break through it? And yeah,
exactly. We have to understand our bodies are so much more capable than what our mind will let us exert. I'm capable of, if I really could right now, I'm sure, all of us, we could force ourselves to run miles and miles, but it's just a mental.
My knee's going to give out.
You'd be surprised. Your body's capable of doing a lot more than you will ever let yourself actually do. So it's just understanding that for yourself whenever you want to, I don't know, go punch a bag for an hour. You set a goal. I'm going to punch this bag for 1 hour.
Yeah.
You just push through understanding your body's capable of doing it, but it's just mentally, man, that's where the battles come in. That's when I'm training someone, I tell them all the time, like, you're completely capable of doing this right now. You're capable of doing this weight for this long, or, pushing past this certain point. You just gotta break past that wall, break past that barrier that's built up right now. And my goal is to push them to do that, because they can't do it on their own a lot of the times. They need someone to help them realize that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's really kind of funny as you say that, is because it was the other day I was sitting there and I just could not get the stress off of me. I just couldn't do it. I was sitting there in the gym and I was doing my regular routine, which is like 20 minutes on the treadmill. Then I was going to do 20 minutes on like the elliptical, just to get my cardio going. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I need something heavy. And I'm like, well, it's supposed to be leg day, but my knee's going to hurt. So I went over to, there's a spot in the gym where it's almost like a 40-yard dash kind of thing.
Yeah. And
they had this sled there, and I'm like, I'm going to push that. And I think it only had like two 45s on it. I was like, I think I can do 3 or 4. So I think I put that on there, and I did it. And I'm like, that was actually pretty easy. And I didn't realize until the end. I ended this with 7 45s on it, pushing it up and down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And I think, did you tell me like how much weight that really was? Like, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight. I mean, let's see. I wouldn't know, around like between 300 and 400 pounds, but it's
insane.
Just back and forth.
I was just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And but it took the stress off.
Exactly.
Because the having the ability to do that, like conquering that, I got done and I'm like, there it is. There's the piece I was looking for. Yes. And it was gone. The stress, everything that I had was gone, and the peace lied there. And I was like, thank goodness. Because it was too much. It was getting too much. That's the crazy thing, is now, because of what I've experienced, I can now feel that when that unrest comes in, and it's like, okay, I got to get rid of this. How do I get rid of this?
Exactly.
Exactly. Trust me, I want to go and grab a drink. And to be honest with you, there's times I would do, but I don't go. I do everything I can to not go past a certain limit. I have my limit, and if I go past that, then that's where it's too much. I control that. And that everything I do is I try to control it. But that's what I do.
Yeah. So when you kill the stress and you kill the noise.
Yeah.
I mean, as you were saying earlier, it translates to everything in your life.
Yeah.
You're able to, because you just did something so hard, you might look at this task that you've been putting off and like, man, that's nothing compared to what I just did.
Exactly.
And you're like, anything that I can do right now is not going to compare to
Yeah.
how I just
Yeah.
felt. So it just makes it that much easier to do anything else.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, and so this is kind of the reason why, you know, a lot of people say sometimes it's almost impossible to be, you know, long-term physically fit and also not be at a good place in your life or successful or kind of, you know, purposeful, like on a good path in your life, because that's how close they correlate, you know, the physical and the mental health in your life. If your physical health is there, you're mentally going to be feeling really, really good.
Yeah.
And kind of vice versa in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what they're saying. What they say now. It's like, you know, if you're a driven person, you're going to, it's going to affect every area of your life. And I'm like, because I never understood that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But it does now because, yeah, I want to continue this course physically. I want to continue this podcast. I want to, you know, like I said, I have 3 jobs. I have a full-time job, a part-time job, and then this. And I want to keep going with those things because it's enjoyable. It's stressful at times, but it's enjoyable. And it brings me peace. I also dance too. So, you know, I'm learning how to dance. So don't laugh.
What kind of
Shout
dance
out-
are you learning?
Ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
Although I don't like the waltz and I don't like the tango. My dance teacher has been amazing. Shout out to Vanessa. She is amazing. She teaches me rumba, bachata, all those fun dances. So yeah. I actually enjoyed it. It does take the stress off, but it takes the stress off in a different way. It's like we just have fun, we laugh, we do those things. So yeah, it's a great time.
Yeah. So learning about what are the things I need to add to my life to stay away from the mediocrity, the stress, the noise.
Yeah.
I love thinking about that all the time because I can feel it too.
Yeah.
If I get a little bit too much noise in my head, okay, I take a step back. Am I still doing the things that I've committed to? Am I still running all the time? Am I still working out hard? Am I still, you know, thinking and journaling? Well, a lot of the times, no, I'm not. I might be missing out on some things. I might be eating a lot of junk all the time, and that's why I'm feeling, you know, just a little off.
Don't you take away my chocolate.
I won't take away your chocolate, but
Don't you take away my chocolate, man.
I got to take away from myself personally because that's a weakness of mine that I can't. I have to stay away from.
I had nachos last night too, so they were good.
Well, I would love some nachos right now too, but
I know where to get them.
Maybe after.
Maybe.
But yeah, so but mentally, you know, I find that keeping myself mentally there too, you know, physically, if I'm, you know, there, then that helps. But mentally, you know, I might get pretty anxious all the time. I might get anxious about, you know, things that I have to do or the fact that I might not be in the right spot in my life right now. I might be having to do more. I get anxious about a lot of the things, and that took a while for me to realize because I thought stress and anxiety were kind of the same thing. But I wasn't just stressed because I had a lot going on. I was kind of anxious, and there's no reason to hold on to that anxiety. It's not a good thing. Until
it destroys you.
Exactly. Yeah, it destroys you.
Well, I mean, you know, and what I don't mean is just mentally, like physically, the toll that it puts on your body. Like, have you ever gotten so stressed that your body ached? Like, I actually have had that. Like, my entire body just felt sick.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
all my joints hurt, everything. Maybe I'm also old, so.
No, because even for me, like, it'll do some of that, and I'll sleep forever. You know, I might get 8 or 9 hours of sleep at night.
Oh my gosh, I used to do that too.
Feeling awful.
I would sleep like 10 hours. I'm sleeping 3 hours now, and I feel more restful than the 10 hours of sleep that I would get. And I'd try to get out of bed, and it's just like everything hurt. Now I'm getting 3 hours, and I'm like jumping out of bed. I'm like, let's go. I'm good.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's just because you're doing the right things. It all translates. And so so I held on to this anxiety around a lot of things for a while until I realized, like, they say your brain can't experience anxiety and gratitude at the same time. So what does that mean? When you're feeling anxious, what I do now, and it's surprising how much it works. Like, I encourage everyone to give it a try. If you acknowledge that you're feeling anxious, maybe I have a test coming up and I feel underprepared and I'm really worried about it. Just instead be like, well, I'm grateful for the fact that I get to go to school and I get to, learn these things, and I get to, maybe I'm grateful for the day I've had so far. I'm grateful for, this tree that I'm walking by that's a really nice tree. I'm grateful for that tree. It's almost instantly like the anxiety fades.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for just the tiniest little things in life. Maybe I'm not making a lot of money right now. Maybe I'm anxious about how I'm going to pay the bills, where the next, meal is going to come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, be like, man, I'm grateful for the fact, like, I do get to make a little money. I get to live fairly comfortably. Maybe I'm in the U.S. Like, I get to live in the U.S. Like, it's very comfortable living here compared to a lot of places. So just being grateful about tiny little things when you're feeling anxious, it actually cures the problem.
It does. It does. You were sitting there talking about being grateful and being anxious. And I want to remember when we were in Michigan just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when all those dogs would just like come up to me? Like, do you remember, like, they would just come out of nowhere? Like, they're just like pulling their owners to come over and say hi to me.
Yeah.
You remember at the beginning of the trip they did that. Well, what you didn't see, because I know you had to go home early, or actually I stayed later. And as the week progressed and I was getting more and more anxious, the dogs weren't coming to me anymore. They were actually growling at me. Now, this could just be me and my weird brain, but I started thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if they sense something in me that I'm feeling.
Yeah.
They felt the joy in me, but then as the week progressed and the anxiety kicked in, they felt that too. And it's like, oh, I don't want that around me. I don't know. It's just something I'm not sure. I'm not
sure. And even if that's not the case, the fact that, it kind of made you realize, whoa, I'm, not the same person I was a week before.
Yeah.
When I
just
felt
a few days
better.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think either way, it's like a good realization to have.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just interesting thought.
Yeah. And so gratitude is huge for having good mental health. It'll kind of, get rid of a lot of the anxiety you have. And you might realize throughout the day, if you're just grateful, you become happier. And a really good thing to do is maybe just express your gratitude to random people, whether that might be, a relative, a distant relative, and you just like send them a text one day and you're like, hey, I'm grateful for the times we spent together. I really enjoyed, the last holiday. Oh, we got to do this and that, I'm grateful for that. Thank you. You'll find that through making them happy and expressing your gratitude towards them, you in turn become so much happier. And so gratitude is just like a really powerful thing, like a really important thing for us to remember to have good mental health.
Yeah.
It's just like, calming the noise by, killing the noise by working out. If you go and, try to experience gratitude, you'll feel more mentally healthy. just in turn, like you'll feel physically healthy if you're working out. So, and I just think that, you know, it's a super important thing to be highlighted for mental health in general.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I think it's all really good. So,
yeah. And also another thing for mental health, have you ever kind of been in a moment and,
more than likely, yes.
And you've been in a moment like I'm being set up that, right now. This thing is supposed to be fun, enjoyable. You might be somewhere fun. Give it, you know, might it be like a amusement park or a baseball game or something, and you just aren't enjoying it genuinely. Like you should be enjoying it in the moment, but you're not. And that it might not even be any outside factors. It's just you genuinely aren't enjoying the moment, and like you should be. Everyone's happy around you, but you're not.
Yeah.
So I find that that's the case when, and this ties into everything, you know, you're not just present in the moment. You're not like thinking about, man, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm, you know, not thinking about the outside things that I have to worry about. And that might be taken away if you know, had physically done a rucksack in the morning, you know, then you'd actually be able to be in the moment more. So I find that presence in your day-to-day activities, when you're talking to someone, you're looking at them in the eye and you're just kind of being in the moment and being in the conversation that you're having and just kind of just being there. You're not thinking about anything else. I think presence in the moments in that you're in, literally the present moment, is a really important thing.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying because you know, I even think about, you know, as you were saying that, I was thinking about, I mean, we can definitely talk about that. I mean, it just recently happened where, you know, everybody around me was having fun and I was not. But that's for another day. But I was thinking, what else was it? And I was thinking vacations, Christmas times when you guys were growing up. Like, all I thought about was, oh, how much money are we spending? Or, oh my gosh, I got to get back to work. It's gonna be bad. Or, you know, nobody's enjoying themselves. Like, you know, you guys are acting up. I mean, oh my gosh, I just thought of, do you remember the first 30 minutes of any car ride we had and how crazy that was?
Right.
Oh my gosh, I hated it. Oh my gosh, I hated it. Your mom spent 30 minutes getting you guys situated, getting the movies that you wanted to watch, getting the I was like, "Oh my gosh, can we just be done?" Like I was like, I just want to go home. But yeah. But looking back at it, now it's like it's a fun memory, you know, but yeah, just during it, I was just like, oh, let this please end. And then and honestly, it set the tone to me. Like I then was stressed the rest of the trip. And so like, yeah, I just kind of zoned out for a little bit until I could come back. But yeah, that's, interesting.
Yeah. And so if you, in the moment, you were more like, I'm on a vacation with my family. This is a, you know,
it's supposed to be a fun time.
It's supposed to be a fun time. It's a blessing that I get to be here. If you know, acknowledge that, then you would have had a much better time and it would have translated. And so inversely, if you're very present in the moment, there might be times where you're supposed to be upset, where you're supposed to be like, say a lot of things happen during a day. And this is, you know, something that people tell me all the time. Like, you know, I realize how much you, you know, always have a good day. Like I haven't had a bad day in ages because I'm always just in the present moment of the day. Like, man, I get to be here right now.
Yeah.
I might have, you know, had something bad happen to me earlier, or someone might have said this and it affected me in a certain way, but
yeah,
I'm still here. Like I'm in the present moment. is the present moment as bad as like I'm making it out to be right now? No, you know.
Yeah.
And so you might be going through a scenario like I'm supposed to be having a bad day right now. I'm supposed to not be as happy as I am right now, but I am.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Because I'm present.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm able to enjoy maybe the conversation that I'm having.
Yeah.
I'm just living. I'm just here.
Yeah. No, I
So-
think living the moment, and whatnot. And that's I try to do that. I definitely do. I feel like I do a better job of that now
Yeah.
than I did when I was younger. Most definitely. But I still have my days. I still have my faults. I mean, we're all gonna
Always.
we're not perfect, you know. But yeah, just, you know, I definitely try to enjoy and live the moment, because I can tell you this: the last 6 months have probably been my most favorite months ever, and I tell everybody I'm doing better than I deserve, and I'm just enjoying the ride
Mm-hmm.
because it's been interesting.
That's exactly right.
So yeah,
Yeah. And so if you want to improve your mental health and you want to get out of the hole that you've become a slave to.
Yep.
You know, this life that you become a slave to. What are the steps to becoming a warrior instead?
so the key to the path of the warrior, you got to know yourself. You have to. And you have to come to terms with who you are. Not just know it, but accept it. You know, that was one of the things that I had to accept. Like, when my therapist, literally, I had to do this, like, it took forever. It was like 100 and something questions. Felt like hours. And I had to answer it. When he got done with that, he spit this output, and he goes, this is your personality. And while it didn't fit, everything didn't fit, like, so much made so much sense. Such as, when I feel like I'm backed in a corner and I got nowhere to go, I fight my way out instead of doing a healthy way. And then what is it? So my reaction to that situation of feeling boxed into a corner is terrible. And it makes me look like we talked about in the last episode, that monster. Because I'm reacting off of hurt and frustration, but it's coming across as anger. And I'm not. I'm just hurt. So I have to learn how to do better. So
Yep.
yeah. That's the first step. And then you've got to find your healthy. Then you got to, we'll put it this way. After the first step, you got to conquer your weaknesses.
Yeah.
And you got to do that through your healthy outlets, you know, that allow you to start thinking clearly, facing and conquering all of your fears, all your insecurities, all the things. And I don't want to use the term weak, because you're not weak. You're not weak mindset. It's not a downer. You're not yourself. You're not the best version of yourself. Because that's what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build the best versions of ourselves. That's what life's about. Because if we're not doing that, if we're just here existing, why? We want to be better.
I agree.
So why not do it?
I agree.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we just got to appreciate the work that we're doing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Be present.
Be present.
And be grateful for, you know, the work that you're putting in, because you can do all this work, and if you don't celebrate the fact that you've came so far,
yeah,
if you don't look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of yourself, say, good job, Ian. You actually have came a long way. You look better. You feel better. You are purposeful. You're doing meaningful things. That's where it all ends.
Yeah.
You know, you can work as hard as you possibly can, but you got to accept that for yourself, that you've now become the version that you've always wanted to become. You've escaped that old self.
Mm.
And you have to celebrate each and every small win every single day. Saying, wow, I ran a mile today.
Yep.
Wow, I ate broccoli for the first time in a while.
I do like broccoli.
Yeah.
But you got to put some cheese on it.
Fair enough.
Can't eat a plate.
Yeah. I journaled for 5 minutes today. Good job, Ian. That's so much better than you were before yesterday.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the path of the warrior.
Definitely.
That's how to get there.
That is. Awesome.
And
hey guys, thanks for joining us again today on another episode of Conquering Together. You know, just remember, you're not alone. We're all in this together. Have a good one.
see ya.
See ya. Love you, son.
Love you too, Dad.
Bye. Hey guys, if you like what you heard, we appreciate a like, share, or subscribe. We hope it helps you as much as it does us. Whether you're on the uphill or the downhill, you are not alone. Until next time, keep conquering together.